What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. I meant to release this video a couple of days, guys, but unfortunately I had some issues with my mic and my audio setup, so here we are. I really want to focus on the Raid Digest, the one that they released on Friday, because we've seen something in there. HYDRA nerf. HYDRA gets an update pretty soon, so hopefully we're gonna see some nice positive changes on rewards and on difficulty. I really want to give you guys my take on how I would personally change HYDRA in terms of rewards and adjustments for difficulties, what heads I would nerf, fix, because that content's supposed to be something enjoyable. It feels like it's just frustration with it, like 95% of the times, for me, for the majority of the community, and not mainly because it's difficult in terms of what accuracy and speed we need, okay? It's mainly because of all the RNG that is involved in a fight, and it honestly shouldn't be like that. If we're talking about the normal clan boss, 100% is the most successful content in the entire game. Everybody wants to improve their clan boss team to get better rewards, right? Everybody wants to 1-key Ultra Nightmare, 1-key Nightmare. So the main thing for everybody is, I want to do my clan boss team, right? HYDRA's supposed to be the same thing. Now, I've been playing this game for 3 years plus. I've done so many different clan boss teams, okay? And I had tons of fun doing it. I expected to have pretty much something similar for the HYDRA clan boss. Well, it was pretty fun the first 2-3 weeks. I made some crazy teams for this as well. I managed to do the impossible and 1-key Nightmare without using the cheese comp. And that's it pretty much. My interest died, and the interest for the majority of people died because of the way HYDRA behaves, the rewards, etc. So I'm pretty excited to see that Plarium finally decided to take a measure, okay, to do something about it. Now, not sure 100% what they are going to do. If you enjoyed the music you heard in the video, guys, I want to let you know I partner up with Soundstripe. They have an amazing music library. Feel free to check them out. You're going to find the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. Plus, if you use code Skratch, I can save you 15% on checkout on any subscription. Let's have a quick look at what exactly Plarium said. We're gonna jump straight to the HYDRA, guys, because that's kind of like our main thing. And talking about that, I'm gonna make a poll on the channel, guys, so please take a second and vote. I'm curious to see on what difficulty you guys are, okay? Easy or normal, hard, brutal, nightmare. I'm curious to see what are you guys doing, or you're not hitting it at all. I'm gonna give you different options. I'm just curious personally to see where you guys stand. So basically, not only does HYDRA get stronger, but also weaker. Now, they actually released a HYDRA roadmap a while ago, okay? So if we're gonna go right here, phase 1 already happened, phase 2 happened as well. So we're already at phase 3. If you're gonna have a look when you're starting the game on the loading screen, we actually have an extra head that appears there. Now, we don't know exactly what are the skills for that head or anything like that. We just know that whenever the new HYDRA head comes, one new difficulty level plus improved rewards. I actually talked about this. I can't remember if it was on Ash's channel or was with Kiesel in a video. I can't really remember. But the main idea was like, what's gonna happen with the other difficulties? If they're just gonna bring in new difficulties, most probably they're gonna rename the lower difficulties and just make easy, normal, hard, brutal, nightmare, ultra nightmare. You know, I feel like that's kind of like what's gonna happen by the time we're gonna reach phase 5. But the main idea is the rewards, guys, okay? Right now, you're getting Mitrala, and then once you're gonna finish to collect the fragments, you're getting nothing instead of that. So I feel like this puts a lot of people off, you know, because why would I do it? I know clan gold is very important. You have tons of things that you can buy right now from the clan shop, but is that enough for the majority of people to invest 2, 3, 4 hours and stress out a lot of times because of the RNG? Probably not, okay? So I would personally either bring in a new champion that's a strong champion that people they desire, you know, not just a rubbish champion that nobody wants. Either give us more Mitrala fragments so we can empower her, put her in the faction guardians for people that need that, or give us some shards, books, chaos ores, something that will raise our interest more in Hydra. And I'm not talking about me personally. I'm doing it mainly because of the gear for Arena, you know? I'm talking about Stone Skin. I'm doing it for the Clan Gold, the Clan XP, because I want to level up the Clan to max level so we can purchase everything from the Clan shop. But that's not the case for everybody. I have more time than the majority because this is my job, you know? So I perfectly understand people that don't really want to do Hydra at all because it takes so much time, you know? So hopefully we're going to see some positive changes with it and something that's actually going to make us want to do the content, you know? So I'm quickly going to give you my take, guys, on what exactly I would change. So if we're talking about Hydra, my main issue with the actual head, so we're going to cover the stats in a second, is the Head of Mischief. The whole concept of the Head of Mischief, I feel like that's the main thing that creates all this RNG. With the A1, always stealing buffs, Thermiter, then he's gonna spread them on a 3-turn cooldown. This can create so many issues. For example, let's just say you're 70-80 turns in the fight. What can happen is that you're gonna have defense down, weaken, HP burn on the head that just devoured your champion. Well, Head of Mischief is gonna steal some buffs. He's gonna spread them. Guess what? It's gonna be an immunity buff on that as well. And the Cleansing Head, the Head of Decay is gonna come in play, cleanse all the debuffs, boost the Thermiter, and then you have immunity on that head. You don't have defense down, you don't have weaken, you don't have HP burn anymore. You cannot save your champion anymore. That's one RNG element. And the whole idea that you cannot do it on auto, again, is not a massive problem for me personally, but for a lot of people that don't have time, you know, it is quite a bit of a problem. So the Head of Mischief cannot be controlled either. When two champions, they have the same amount of buffs, he's gonna go randomly. You're not gonna know from which one he's gonna try to steal the buffs from. And that's a problem because, yes, you can control it with a Krisk, you can control it with having some crazy champions in your team, but that's not working 100% all the time because a lot of times, if you're running a Duchess, for example, she's gonna shield a random champion that has the lowest HP, and maybe he's gonna have an equal amount of buffs with Krisk, and he's gonna steal the buffs. Yes, you can counter it with block buffs, debuff, but that's not enough all the time either, you know? So I feel like the Head of Mischief creates the biggest RNG in the entire fight. I would probably change something with the A1 and make it so he can actually steal buffs from the lead, for example. So if there are 5 champions all with the equal amount of buffs, he's gonna target the lead or the lowest HP. So like this, we know where he's heading, you know? Like this, the probability decreases a bit. And is one thing, the Veil mechanic, okay? We are forced a lot of times to use the Perfect Veil because of the Head of Torment, but then every single head that doesn't have AoE attacks, single targets, ignores the Perfect Veil mechanic. So what's the point to even have the mechanic if everybody kind of poops on it, basically? Like, it's useless, you know? I know you have damage reduction and stuff, but this is something that I've told them from day one. Why would you bring in a mechanic that literally just gets ignored? Like, why would you want to make me bring in attack down if none of them are gonna get affected by it? It's pretty much the same situation, you know? It's just kind of like a different example. The next thing that I feel is a bit bad in terms of RNG is the Head of Decay. Yeah, he does the cleanse on a 4-turn cooldown, if I'm not mistaken. It might be a bit longer than that. You boost the Thermiter, that's fine. But then he has the A3 that shields the head with the lowest HP. And it's fine most of the times, but when it happens, sometimes it shields the exact same champion that's about to devour your champion. And it's making it almost impossible if you're in a longer turn to rescue the champion. Sometimes you're like 33 million. You're literally next to the 36 million that you need for one key nightmare. And that happens, and you can now rescue a champion, and that literally destroys your entire team. And that creates a lot of frustration because you're gonna have to redo the entire fight again just because of that simple RNG. So maybe if that head is gonna get all the benefit, you're gonna get the shield, damage reduction, and you're gonna get back on full HP, give him a handicap. He's not allowed to devour a champion while he's shielded, you know? If they're gonna do that, that RNG disappears. If you're gonna empower a head with so many things, damage reduction from the shield, if you don't break the shield, he's gonna go back on full HP, so he's getting so many benefits, you gotta give him some handicap to it. You know, basically, yeah, he's not allowed to devour a champion. I feel like these two things would completely change the Hydra, okay? Will reduce the RNG. Another thing that I would slightly change is maybe reduce a bit the damage on the head of red. Honestly, I've seen my Duchess 90k HP, 3.5k defense, and the head of red almost one-shotted her, which is pretty damn crazy to see that. Like, wow, you know, I was like, oh my god, that really happened, you know? So maybe reduce a bit the damage, and it's not necessarily on the high difficulty. I don't want to have Hydra like a walk in the park, you know? Maybe on the lower difficulties. Normal, hard, maybe reduce the damage there. I feel like the majority of people are playing there, and the majority of people that are not doing Hydra are because they are frustrated with the way the Hydra works. So if they would make it a bit easier, more accessible on the lower difficulties, I feel like they will definitely change the whole aspect of the Hydra clan boss. And another thing that I would personally maybe adjust again is the head of suffering, right? He has that skill where he gains the extra turn. Well, that's pretty annoying, because if he devours your champion, he gains the extra turn, and if he devours the champion and it's only for 2 turns, you're literally gonna lose the champion like this, and you're not able to do anything to rescue it, because you might not have enough damage to save it. Maybe the head of decay comes in with the cleanse, boosts the turn meter, and all that can happen. And yeah, it's pretty annoying. So maybe don't allow him to gain that extra turn when he devours the champion. Put a small handicap on that as well. I feel like that could improve a lot. I feel like it's too overtuned at the moment, you know? I'm not saying it's impossible, but I feel like it's a bit too overtuned for the majority of people to play the content. It is meant to be the most endgame content, but the main thing that I want to get out of the Hydra is all the RNG. And talking about the lower difficulties, I would probably reduce a bit the stats. So basically right now, these are kind of like the stats. Ignore the affinities, because these are literally from the very first week, but they are all keeping the same stats, you know? Like, maybe just knock down a bit the accuracy on Head of Mischief. 250 accuracy on the normal is pretty intense. Like, you're gonna need around 330 plus resistance just to be in a sweet spot with it, you know? You're still gonna have the 3% chance to lose all the buffs regardless of how much resistance you're gonna have, you know? Knock down a bit the speed maybe, and that would actually make it much easier. Like, honestly, do that on normal, on hard, maybe even on brutal. Leave Nightmare the same, the next difficulty as well, whatever it's gonna be. Improve the rewards. And honestly, if they're gonna do some of these changes, I personally have no clue what exactly they are going to do. These are kind of like some things that I would personally change, just to make the content a bit more enjoyable and to don't be based on RNG. I feel like in the last 1 year, everything that they brought in the game is just RNG on top of RNG on top of RNG. And there are parts where we shouldn't have that. It's fine to have it with the shards, with the gear and stuff like that. But when you're getting it in PvP, then it moves over to PvE as well. It's just, you roll the dice, you're gonna win, you're not. So it's not fun anymore. It's not that challenge that, yes, I overcome this. That's it. I got this now. You know what I mean? But let me know in the comments down below, guys. What do you think of the current state of Hydra? How would you change it to make it more enjoyable? Do you agree with what I said? You would make some additional changes. Maybe you would go a bit more hardcore than I went on the feedback on what I would change. But that was all for this video. Appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.